I decided to update one of my travel bags. I've just got one of these Maxpedition Jumbos in this new brown color, did a review on it, and while I was at it, I just started thinking I needed to update my bag. What I carry on the road, what I take, leave in my truck when I'm out and about, especially when I'm doing reviews. Maybe I'm up in the woods, I'm out somewhere away from any kind of assistance or help, and having the things I need, maybe if I get lost, whatever it is, to be able to have things I need to be able to survive in a tough situation. So what we're going to do is, just got this jumbo from Maxpedition. It's one of their new brown colors, did a full review on it. And while I was getting this packed out for my truck, because I've really been carrying this a lot, and I just thought I'd share with you the contents of the bag and what to me are the essentials that you need. This can be expanded into more of a bug out bag, but this is really for every day. It does weigh about 13 pounds, so it's not super lightweight, but it's really compact, and you can get everything in it. One of the things I would probably suggest for some is maybe a backpack might be suitable for others. And I like this because I can get to it really quickly. It is a single strap, and it comes around across your chest, and I like that because I can bring this bag around right to the front, get to the items I need, without necessarily taking it off and dismounting it. Also, with these Fastex buckles, I can release the pack and be able to get to it if I need to really get in there and find out what I've got. So we're going to take a look at all the essentials. Now, one of the things I want to preface this whole video on is that I use a certain criteria when getting my bag ready, and that is the rule of threes. And many of you have heard that, but it's 3 minutes without air, 3 hours in harsh conditions, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long you can survive without those items. Now that's a general. Typically you can usually live a little longer without those things. But this is something that is a great basis to be able to line it up. But one of the things that's really important to me is the 3-second category. And that to me is your medical. You definitely could have that situation at any time, having a good trauma or medical kit, IFAK. And then secondly is self-defense. That can also happen at any time. So having those first with your medical and your self-defense, and then going down the list of threes. Now with that in mind, I try to keep those things that are super important handy, the most easy to get to, the most accessible. And so right into this flap, under this Fastex buckle, right here is my medical compartment. I have here one of the AMP3, this is from USN ER Doc. This is one of his just EDC medical kits. It's pretty comprehensive. It has a list of all the different things. This is really a fantastic kit for every day. This is not a trauma kit, but this is excellent. In fact, I use this on a regular basis for different things. I keep this again in my truck, so if I cut myself pretty good, or I just need some Advil, whatever it is, I can get to it right here. And it's really handy. It's in one of the lock sacks, so it's going to keep all the moisture out, and it stays sanitary. So this is an excellent item. And what I'm going to do down in the description, I'm going to have all the links that I can come up with. Some of this stuff may not have the links, but this will allow you to be able to find the items in case you don't already have these. The second thing in this big compartment is my EPIK. And this is an emergency personal injury kit. This is from the AR500armor.com series, and they have a number of different kits. It has a SWAT tourniquet. It has compressed gauze for deep cuts. It has even hemostatic granules, the Celox, which is very similar to Quick Clot. And you can see even medical gloves, different things. And this is really important to have, especially if you're going to the shooting range or you're doing things like that. You're really in a high active environment. Is having something like this. This is going to stop any kind of trauma that could be not only to you but maybe to someone else. So to me, these two kits together are excellent. This is for serious stuff. This is just for cuts and scrapes and things that you need to get to quickly. And of course, I have one of the Benchmade Triage knives. This is an excellent knife. It has the sheep's foot, so you can cut clothing with it without cutting someone. It does have a small hook here for cutting seat belts and things like that. And then it also has a carbide tip right here in case you need to bust out of a window. This is really exceptional to keep in your vehicle regardless. And then right here I keep some lip balm as well. And lip balm's important for a lot of reasons, but it does help with your chapped lips. I keep it in this little compartment. Now right here around the back, this has a zippered compartment. This is for your concealed carry. There's hook and loop here where you can attach a different holster system. But here I keep my Glock 26. And this is, of course, my self-defense option. And of course, I also keep an extra magazine, a Glock 17 with 17 rounds. So this gives me a good backup. I do have a concealed carry that I do have, but this is my backup. Also, one thing that I've been keeping is a good holster. You know, a lot of times if you just have a handgun in here, you don't necessarily have a holster. Maybe something's happened and you've lost your primary concealed carry. Having a good backup holster is important. And this is one of John Jackson from Jackson Leatherworks. I'm going to have all the information below. This is a review that I'm working on right now. Excellent, high quality crafted leather. And I really love leather. I've got a ton of Kydex and I've kind of gotten tired of it. I want something really more traditional. So we're going to be talking about this, but whatever you decide, having a good holster is important. Of course, having communications is super important. I keep my iPhone 5 handy. I keep it well protected with this little Magpul cover. But one of the things is the battery can go dead. And so having a battery backup is important. Here I have one of the eBoot solar chargers. And I can not only charge this after it's been charged, but if I've run the charge out of my solar charger, I can put it in the sun and it'll charge as I have it on my pack. So this is a really great option, and it does have a little flashlight just for emergencies. I do keep it secured with a little carabiner. I can slip this down in my pack, but it is water resistant, so I don't, and dust resistant, so I don't have to really worry about this. And keeping it on my pack, it allows the sun to charge this battery continually. And also in communications, I have this little Wouxon. It's a ham radio, but it also does all your family channels, and it also does MERS. So this is an excellent option to keep backup. One of the things that I do though is I don't depend on the hook, even though I have this hooked in. I use a zip tie on a carabiner, and this really keeps it secure. So it keeps it secure in two ways. Of course, if you're going to use ham, you need to make sure you get a ham radio license before you get on there. And here we have a small whistle for signaling, and I think this is also a form of communication, especially if you're in bear country. Now, something that's needed continually is water. And one of the things about water is that it's an excellent survival item, but it also just keeps you hydrated in normal uses. And you know, one of the things about being in a situation, of course, with water is, especially if you have a metal containers, you can actually cook with this, or you can boil it. But this is really not the best for that. I would get a stainless steel, just a plain stainless steel with a stainless steel top. Plus, what's really important as well is having a filter system. Now, this is the Renovo Trio, and this is excellent for a filter straw. It really takes care of a lot of different things, but whether you use this, a Sawyer Mini, or you know, even a Life Straw, a Frontier straw, whatever, having a good way to filter your water is important, because if you drink water directly, even from some of the clearest streams, you can pick up all kind of bacteria, Cryptosporidium, Giardia, and then you can be really sick and not be able to be that mobile. So having a good filter system is important. Right on the top, I keep my sunglasses, and these are actually impact resistant, so I can use these for more than one reason, but it does keep the sun out of my eyes. It's really important to do that. I do have a cord on the back to keep them handy, and then also a bandana. I have done a video on the multiple uses of having a bandana. This is something that's really important to keep with you. There's so many uses for it. Then right here in this little front zipper, and that's one of the things I like about Maxpedition is there's so many different zippers and different compartments. But here we have one of the lighters, and this is like a torch lighter. This is excellent. I keep a lighter handy, but I do have a fire kit down in here. But this is a little bit of redundancy, but this keeps it real close at hand. Also, I have a little Rite in the Rain pad and one of the space pens. And in case I need to make any notes, write anything down, I can do it on this pad. And with that, I also have an extra writing pen and a Sharpie as well, right in this little compartment. But I also keep down in this compartment a saw. And this is a portable saw with the handle. These handles come apart. This is an excellent little tool. I'm not really even sure where I got this, but this is a fantastic item in case you need a saw. Now the little side pouch, and of course keeping things that I use a lot right out front. We have a Mutt Leatherman multi-tool. Excellent multi-tool, especially going to the range. Then I have one of the zebra headlamps, and one of the things about this light is not only is it an excellent bright light and it gives you hands-free capability, it also, you can pull this loose separately and it can be used as just a light by itself. So this is a really capable light, and aside from my EDC light, and also a couple of extra CR123s. That's pretty much everything on the outside of the bag or on the pouches, but the main compartment, of course, I really love it because you can compress everything and keep it really rainproof. This material, and I've demonstrated it a number of times, it's a triple polyurethane coat. So you can pour water over this and it won't seep through the material. But this is an extra level of protection against the elements. One of the things, which is just a simple thing, but I always keep some kind of cloth. Now, the bandana will also double for this, but this gives you a little more of a cloth for bathing and things like that, or just to keep the sweat down. Of course, a good pair of gloves is really important. Have a compass, and having a way for a compass. Of course, you can use your phone, but just in case your phone is out of reach, of course, you can have apps on your phone. But the compass and a good map is also important. So wherever you are, what area you're in, a good map would really come in handy. Now here I just have a survival kit, and there's a number of things in here. Now this little survival kit, I have this in one of the gear pods. This keeps it contained, and it just has screw on and screw off lids on both sides. So if something's in the bottom, I can get to it either way. And I'm going to lay out the contents just for you to see what's in here. This is some Burt beads. This is rescue ointment. I really like this for a number of reasons, but it really can keep your hands, chapped hands. You can even double this as chapstick, even though I do keep chapstick as well. I have an emergency space blanket. I have an additional lighter. Now this is a section of military wire, and you have the yellow and the green. It comes in these little spools. I love this stuff. Have a small sewing kit. I have a signaling mirror, but it also has a duct tape wrapped around it. And a cut credit card with duct tape as well. Some chapstick and a couple of small little button compasses. And one of the reasons I do this is the large compass, if I start really kind of guessing myself and saying, is this really reading true, I can double check it with these small little compasses. And really this is more for peace of mind. I have a little watch cap to keep your head warm, especially right now with winter coming. And this is the spool tool. This is one of my favorite paracord tools. I love this tool. I've done a full review on it. I'll have it linked here. But this has 100 feet of paracord. You can get it in 50 feet. Has a small lighter, and it has a cutter. And then you can use this when you're heating the ends and you're sealing off the ends. You can use this to really get a good tight seal. This is a must-have. I have a number of these in a number of bags. This is my fire kit. It's extremely important. I do have some redundancy with fire, but this has everything I need for a fire kit, including Vaseline cotton balls. And so I've got lighters, I've got trioxane. Here I have a Swedish fire steel, regular lighter, and of course I have a small little knife that I keep in here as well. Fresnel lens in the back. But this is one thing that I highly recommend, is having a good fire kit with all the essentials. Of course, contained in a small bag, it really keeps everything handy. Here I have some SOS lifeboat food, or life raft food. This is excellent. It's really a 3-day supply of food, so it gives you a lot of good calories, and it tastes great. And it has a long shelf life, so you can store this away, and this is really easy to carry. You can substitute this maybe for a couple of Cliff Bars or something like that if you want to go a little more lightweight. I mean, this weighs a solid pound, so it is fairly heavy, but I really like keeping this handy. And also I have a nice fixed blade knife, and this is one of the Izulas by Essie. This is an exceptional knife. It really cuts well, and it's strong. It's not too big. That's one of the things I like about a pack like this. It just keeps it really handy. And last but not least, I have one of the Thomas Glover pocket references, and you can get these at Maxpedition. I got this one there. It just has tons of different references and things, just anything you can possibly imagine. And so I think this is a great addition to have in your pack. And I believe that does it for the pack. So we're going to have all the contents laid out. And again, I'm going to have the whole list down below for you to look at in the description. So here you can see everything laid out. This is quite a bit of gear to go in this small bag. you know, really, again, it is pretty heavy. It's about 13 pounds. So, you know, and this is really just what I like. Some of it's redundant. Obviously, I have a lot of different fire starting capabilities. I have a number of different pens. Of course, these are different uses. A couple of different knife choices. Of course, a multi-tool. Just a lot of different things, but I really feel like that this is a well-rounded kit. Yeah, I have the trauma kit, but I also have a small boo-boo kit, is what I like to call it. But this is really a little bit more than that, done very well. So just having the basic needs and things, really this stays mainly in a vehicle, which it stays in my truck. When I'm out, I always put it back. Now, one of the things I want to mention too is if you leave a bag in your truck or your vehicle, unless you have it in a trunk, there is a good possibility that it can get stolen out of that vehicle. And so what I really like to do is have 2 or 3 setups like this. So if something gets taken, well, I've got something else. And the other thing that I want to mention is my EDC, my concealed carry, my knife, my flashlight, you know, my keys, my phone, those things I have on me at all times. In fact, typically what I'll do is take like this small trauma kit. If I'm on foot, I'll slip this in a pocket, even though I'm carrying my bag, and a couple of the essentials, some lighters, maybe something to really get a fire started. And then if for some reason I get separated from my bag, I have those essential things that are in my pockets. And so that to me is one thing that can be very important, because even in a stressful situation, you can forget your bag, maybe an animal attacks or something happens, or you know, you get into a river and your bag gets washed away. For whatever reason, it's really good though to have some of the essentials on your person. So this is just my go bag, and it's my field bag. It's what I carry with me for just those dire emergencies. And again, you can set these up however you want to. Now down in the comments below, please leave any kind of additions that you may have, or different setups that you may do. Again, this is a very personalized setup just for me, and this may help you in choosing a bag for you. But the number one thing is to be prepared at all times. So having the right stuff on your person or very available can really be the difference between life and death, and it's really serious to be prepared. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And also with the quick tech. But one of the things is, of course, that the battery can go. But what? Now this little small patch. Now the little, and it gives you head free, and it gives you hands free. Here I have some SOS light boat. Here I have some SO. It's been a while since I've done any kind of. What I want to do is, this is what I do. Guys, I hope you appreciate this, because I got to pack all this crap back in this bag.